Tonight, 60 buildings decimated by the brute force of wildfires in British Columbia. The destruction on the ground and the ongoing threat.
It was like a war zone. It just looked like something you'd watch on a movie.
And the potential role for AI in future firefights. California soaked and shaken by Tropical Storm Hilary.
I grew up down here in Palm Springs. I've never seen it this bad.
Dealing with recovery and a gigantic muddy mess.
Oh, look at that!
Plus, the growing pressure to solve the housing crunch.
If we think it's bad today, it's only going to get worse in the next short term here.
The in-house political turmoil at the federal cabinet retreat.
CTV National News with Omar Sachedina.
Good evening, everyone. The flames destroying British Columbia's southern interior are continuing to chew through large parts of the province tonight. Even firefighters now among those who've lost their homes. More than 27,000 people are under evacuation order in British Columbia and 35,000 on standby to leave at a moment's notice. Hampering efforts to contain the flames, critical pieces of equipment are now being stolen. Pumps, sprinklers, hoses, and ATVs. CTV's Vanessa Lee was on the front lines of the devastation today in BC's Shuswap region and starts us off.
On the smoky shores of Shuswap Lake, there is heartbreak. Some homes are no longer recognizable. Never have fires in this region affected so many people. At least 10,000 have been forced to flee or are on alert, and it's too soon to say when they'll be able to return.
It's very dynamic. This fire is nowhere near under control. It's out of control. We're expecting winds, and we're going to see fire behavior again today.
Firefighters have been unable to battle the flames from the air because of the thick smoke. What's also hindering relief efforts, critical gear has repeatedly been stolen or tampered with.
People think they're helping. They are not. You're not helping if you're moving firefighter equipment.
After days of uncertainty, the stress is taking a toll.
We did it all proper.
This group organized a truckload of supplies for the cut-off community of Anglemont and say police turned it away.
I'm looking at reverting it another way.
I can't even begin to say how frustrated I am. It's just, it's disheartening. It really is. Like, this is people helping people, and we're stopping that from happening.
People here in Anglemont are not under an evacuation order, but nearby communities are, which is why if they decide to leave, they can't go back.
See if there's any more.
Even without power and water, many are refusing to leave.
How are you feeling?
Anxious, worried for our neighbors.
And so friends and strangers loaded up their boats, refusing to let anyone go without basic necessities.
We know we may be a little bit on the edge with respect to what first responders want us to do, which is to stay away, but there are people here who need help.
Even if it comes with a risk, authorities are patrolling the waters to ensure everyone's safety.
We stayed out of the zones that are closed.
Our big concern is preventing theft.
What's difficult to escape are the dangerous levels of smoke. The air quality here is among the worst in the world, Omar.
Such a challenging situation, Vanessa. Thank you. We learned today 60 structures have been destroyed in the flames, 50 of those in Kelowna. And as CTV's Alyssa Thibault tells us, crews still haven't been able to assess the full scope of the damage.
Around the clock, crews from all over the province are facing the front line of a fire still burning.
I saw the firefighters from the night shift coming back, and they were black.
And now a clearer idea of what's been lost. Officials say West Kelowna and Westbank First Nation have been hit hard. At least 50 structures either completely destroyed or partially damaged. 5 homes lost in Kelowna and 2 to 3 in Lake Country. Further north along the lake, homes also lost in Traders Cove, up to Lake Okanagan Resort.
It's emotional, yeah.
Trevor Peters is among those figuring out his next steps. His home near Okanagan Lake was burnt to the ground.
I don't know where I'm going to be or go next, so I lost everything and just trying to pick up from there day to day, and it's just me and him.
Some residents already know their home is gone because they saw it go up in flames on social media. Others are confident their property is safe. They can still see home cameras. But so much is still unknown, and assessment crews are now only beginning to move into the most dangerous neighbourhoods.
But we're moving into the areas where the fire burned hottest. I described it as a hurricane. Trees pushed over by their roots.
Thousands of people are still out of their homes and have no idea when they can go back.
We heard some people talking about Fridays, some people said 3 weeks, some people said a couple days. Not many people know what's going on.
And there could finally be a turning point for fire crews. Rain is in the forecast starting tonight and lasting through until Wednesday. Once this smoke finally clears, the true extent of the damage will become clearer. Alyssa Tebow, CTV News, Kelowna.
The firefight in the Northwest Territories has shifted from defense to offense, with a focus on preventing any further spread.
The small amount of rain we have received over the past couple of days has not stopped these fires. It is not safe to return to any evacuated community in the Northwest Territories at this time. 600
firefighters are now on the ground, as well as more than 300 members of the Canadian Armed Forces. Most of Yellowknife's 20,000 people have evacuated, with the wildfire remaining just 15 kilometers away. The BC Premier and the Prime Minister pointed the finger at Meta today for making these difficult situations harder, especially for evacuees, with the company's ban on Canadian news on Facebook.
Facebook's putting corporate profits ahead of people's safety.
Facebook says people can access crisis response pages and says it has warned about the fallout from the government's Online News Act for months. The massive financial losses of the wildfires are growing daily, and that's putting a spotlight on insurance now and in the future. Here's CTV's Heather Wright.
The worst wildfire season in Canadian history has forced hundreds of thousands from their homes, many of which have been damaged or destroyed. And it could be months or even years before some are able to return home.
It's been torture, really.
John Angram's house was severely damaged by smoke from the Tantalon fire in Halifax in May, which destroyed much of his neighborhood. While his house is still standing, he has yet to return home, unhappy with his insurance company, who he says has offered little more than what he calls a deep cleaning.
It's really not safe. Like, my house is completely full of soot. My attic is full of soot. My air exchanger is full of soot. My floors, my beds, my walls, everything is full of soot. But it's not just that. It's everything gets into the insulation and the drywall.
Wildfire insurance is standard with every home insurance policy, which often includes expenses from mass evacuation, according to the Insurance Bureau of Canada. But climate change, they say, is making those premiums more expensive.
Insurers price risk, and this is becoming a riskier place to insure.
Weather-related damages caused more than $3 billion in insured losses in Canada in 2022, the third costliest year on record.
It's no surprise that we're seeing premiums go up by 5, 10, 15% across the country.
In the United States, some major insurance companies have scaled down or halted the sale of new policies in states like California and Florida, hoping to avoid covering skyrocketing losses as climate change fuels more intense disasters. But industry experts don't believe a wholesale change to wildfire insurance in Canada is likely.
Because they can't predict it, they're not saying it's an uninsurable cost. They're happy to continue to insure it. So there's been no change on that. Could something happen over time? Anything's possible, but there's been no indication that there's going to be any policy changes.
Anyone making a claim is encouraged to start the process as quickly as possible, as there could be delays due to the sheer volume of people looking for help. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
The scope of the destruction left behind from Tropical Storm Hilary was clearer today. This was the first storm of its kind to hit Southern California in 84 years. CTV's Joy Malbin reports.
Many Californians have never seen anything like this. Entire neighborhoods swamped. Tropical Storm Hilary brought flash flooding.
Holy go!
Triggering violent mudslides, sending rock and debris and San Bernardino firefighters running for their lives. Rescuers plucking people from the swollen rivers as roads and highways buckled, drenching the desert, turning parts of it into rivers.
I grew up down here in Palm Springs. I've never seen it this bad.
Traffic was brought to a standstill in Palm Springs. Water gushed through a Las Vegas casino parking lot. And in some areas, Hillary dropped a year's worth of rain in just a single day, knocking out power to thousands. As if a tropical downpour wasn't enough, in the middle of this raging storm, the ground shook. A 5.1 earthquake, rattling nerves.
The Los Angeles Fire Department so far has reported no damage or injuries in the city resulting from the earthquake.
So far, LA's mayor says there are no significant injuries, just a whole lot of mess and a whole lot of mud.
I'm digging the truck right now because we got stuck.
As the water recedes and cleanup begins, officials are still warning those in the storm zone to be cautious.
There's boulders in the backyard that I don't know how they got on that side of the garage, but there's boulders the size of a Volkswagen that are just sitting over there. So strange.
Strange indeed. Whoa. In a year of climate extremes coming on the heels of Hillary, warnings are already out for another tropical cyclone threatening to slam into Texas tomorrow. Joy Malvin, CTV News, Washington.
The weather disasters on both sides of the border are destroying homes, but there is an additional housing crisis in Canada where too many people can't afford a place to live. The affordability dilemma so many are facing is now also a political problem for the Prime Minister, and one he's trying to address at a retreat in Prince Edward Island. Here's CTV's Annie Bergeron Oliver.
You guys are more interesting.
The housing crunch touches every generation, and for those old enough to vote, it's a top issue, pushing housing up the priority list and the Liberals down in the polls.
During this cabinet retreat, we're rolling up our sleeves to talk about affordability, to talk about economic growth for everyone, to talk about how we're going to solve some of the housing challenges.
The cost to rent or buy a home are skyrocketing due to strong demand and a shortage of homes. And according to one study, there are only 3 Canadian cities where someone living on minimum wage can afford a one-bedroom apartment.
Landlords are asking for a lot more money now.
It's literally just a bedroom in a shared space, and it's like $900.
To fix that, millions of new housing units need to be built. But with a shortage of skilled workers, that is a challenge.
We have folks that are well past retirement that are kind of hanging in there because they're so busy. We think it's bad today. It's only going to get worse in the next short term here.
As that shortage gets worse, so will the pressure on the Liberals to solve an affordability crisis the Conservatives are eager to talk about.
The biggest cost for housing today is not labor, not lumber, not land, and not profit. It is government. That is the record after 8 years of Trudeau.
The Ontario government is trying to speed up construction with a new plan offering municipalities who commit in writing to achieving certain housing targets up to $400 million a year over 3 years.
These targets will be ambitious but realistic. For the first year of the program in 2023, we want to achieve at least 110,000 new housing starts.
But the question is, will the program work? 2 years ago, Montreal introduced a bylaw to bring more social housing units online. But instead of building them, developers paid fines.
Over the past 2 years, the city have got about $24 million.
Tonight, the federal housing minister says the government ought to consider a potential cap on international students, Omar, to help communities struggling to find places for those students to live.
All right, Annie, thank you. And joining us now is CTV's chief political correspondent, Vashi Kapellos. Vashi, behind the scenes of this cabinet retreat, what are you hearing? Is there a sense that there is a plan to tackle affordability or a frustration internally of how much the issue is being prioritized?
Omar, I have to tell you, I've covered a lot of these retreats over the last 8 or so years, and you never know how forthcoming ministers and their staff will be. Behind the scenes, they are frustrated, and they are certainly worried about ground that they see they have ceded to, in particular, the Conservatives on the issue of affordability, but even more specifically on the issue of housing. And so these meetings over the next 2 days, they are laser-like focused on that. They're going to hear tomorrow all day from a slew of experts on housing. The plan is to come up with a new plan, an agenda they can put forth to Canadians that shows that the federal government is acting and addressing on the frustrations Canadians feel around housing. The big question is whether they have enough time to kind of have that message resonate with voters.
This is quite a contrast from what we saw back in 2015. At that time, the Liberals were seen by much of the country as champions of the middle class. Why are they so politically vulnerable on the issue now?
Yeah, it's a great question because if you think back to 2015, that was the message that resonated, right? They convinced Canadians that they would help the middle class and they would help people ready to join it or wanting to join it, really. And to give credit to them, they did in a number of instances. Think about childcare or the Canada Child Benefit. But the issue of housing has really increased in prominence. And so far, they've left a vacuum for the opposition to fill, and it's at their expense. Omar?
All right, Vachi, thank you. Coming up, an apology on the pitch for an out-of-hand celebration. Plus, a wind-powered cargo ship sets sail with a high-tech twist. Saudi Arabian border guards are being accused of killing hundreds of Ethiopian migrants. That, according to Human Rights Watch, which says many of the victims were shot at close range, while others were hit by explosives. The migrants had crossed along Saudi Arabia's mountainous border with Yemen. The incidents allegedly occurring over a 15-month period dating back to March 2022. The British nurse who was convicted of murdering 7 babies and attempting to kill another 6 will now spend her life in prison.
There was premeditation, calculation, and cunning in your actions.
33-year-old Lucy Letby injected infants with air, insulin, or force-fed them milk between 2015 and 2016. Today, she refused to be in court, which prompted calls to change the law for criminals to hear their sentences.
I think it's cowardly that people who commit such horrendous crimes do not face their victims.
The ruling, known to be the most severe sentence possible under UK law, has only been given to 3 other women. Celebrations over Spain's incredible triumph at the Women's World Cup were marred by controversy over the actions of the president of Spain's Soccer Federation. Luis Rubiales came under fire for kissing Spanish player Jenny Hermoso on the lips during the medal and trophy ceremony. He later apologized in a video statement. And Olga Carmona, Spain's only goal scorer in the championship win over England, thanked fans today for their support in the wake of her own personal loss. Carmona learned after the game that her father had passed away. He died before the match, but her family decided to tell her when the game was over. Still ahead, a closer look at the role of artificial intelligence to fight wildfires. Well, this has already been the worst wildfire season in Canadian history, and there's more than a month left to the summer. More than 15 million hectares have been swallowed up by the flames. That's an area about twice the size of New Brunswick. Let's bring in CTV's science and technology specialist, Dan Riskin. Dan, there's so much misinformation and disinformation out there. So help clear it up for us. What exactly is the role of climate change when it comes to the wildfires we've been seeing this year?
Well, you don't get a fire unless you have a spark, but what happens after that spark really depends on 2 factors. One is how much fuel there is to burn, and the second is what's the weather like while that fire is going. And both of those factors are influenced by climate change. If you look at the fuel side of things, how much of that forest is ready to go up in flames, that's very dependent on climate, because when you get warmer temperatures, you don't get as much snow in the winter. So you start off your season with a lot less water in the ecosystem. And then you get an earlier spring, so you have more days for all that wood to dry out and get ready to go. And if you think about what the summers have been like, especially in Western Canada for the last 2-3 years, they've been incredibly hot and incredibly dry. So it's no wonder the whole place is a tinderbox. And then the other piece is the weather while that fire is going. And when you have hot temperatures, it gives the fire more strength. And so in the past, there might have been a cool night that sort of dampened things and kept that fire from getting too big. But now when it stays hot all through the night, you get fires that just keep going and going and going. And so climate change has a huge role to play after the spark.
In terms of an analogy to help break this down, what would you offer up?
Well, I always think about if I were in a boxing match against somebody that was on steroids. You can't say that they landed that particular punch because of steroids. They might have landed the punch anyway, if they weren't on steroids. But I don't like the idea of fighting against someone who's on steroids because clearly they have an advantage. And when you look at these forest fires, people say, well, that one might not have been caused by climate change and that one might not. You don't know which ones. I kind of don't care. I mean, there's more fires and the fires are worse, and it's very clearly because the climate is changing.
You have to look at the trend, and as this is all happening, this has refreshed the conversation on risk mitigation in the future. What is the role of artificial intelligence when it comes to that?
Well, this is kind of exciting. I mean, as we move forward into this future, we're sort of married to where we've gotten ourselves, and so we have to find a way to make it work. Right now, we're sort of playing whack-a-mole with these fires that are already going. The real power of artificial intelligence to take tons of data from satellites, from sensors on the ground, is to come up with plans to go out and fight the fires in the most effective way possible, or even predict where those fires are going to be tomorrow. So we do have tools available. We don't have to resign ourselves to these out-of-control fires, but it's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take forest management, and we have to throw everything we have at this. And of course, the best thing we can do is prevent more climate change. So the more we do to prevent climate change, we can stop this from getting even worse than it already is.
A huge task ahead, and a critical and urgent task ahead as well. Dan Riskin, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
After the break, searching for climate solutions. The cargo ship with the wind in its sails. A major shipping company is turning to technology of the past to deal with a present-day crisis. Here's CTV's John Vanavelli-Rao.
As the world keeps getting hotter, one of the many industries feeling the heat, global shipping. With so many massive vessels crisscrossing oceans and burning fossil fuels, worldwide accounting for more than 2.5% of CO2 emissions. But the maiden voyage of this bulk carrier is making waves in the maritime industry because it's partially being propelled forward using giant sails, harnessing the power of the wind.
It is kind of back to the future, if you like.
The ship recently left China for Brazil, outfitted with a pair of rigid structures called wind wings. 12 stories tall, they're made from the same material as wind turbines and could slash fuel consumption more than 30%, shrinking the ship's carbon footprint.
Each of these wind wings, when it's fitted to one of these ships, is saving 1.5 tons of fuel a day.
The sails were designed by a British company that can fold down in port or in rough weather and could help the shipping industry meet a pledge to go net zero by 2050. Wind-powered ships, of course, ruled the waves for centuries before the switch to steam and diesel. Other cargo companies are also trying out hard sails and even giant kites to help pull ships along.
But certainly on bulk carriers and tankers, we can see a large proportion of new builds and a huge number of retrofits in the coming years being fitted with wind technology of one sort or another.
An industry trying to set sail towards a cleaner future. John Vanavelli-Rao, CTV News, Toronto.
Fascinating. That's a snapshot of this Monday. Thanks for watching. Good night.